Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be doing the recap for the 8 in 2 readathon that I just did over this past weekend. So let's just get right into it. So for those who have watched my TBR video, which I will link above in case you want to check out like the summary, the brief summaries of each of the books that I was hoping to pick up during this readathon, I'll link it above for you to check that all out. But basically I had picked 3 books that I wanted to finish during this readathon, and I actually finished, okay, so I filmed that video maybe like a few days in advance, and I guess I underestimated how fast I read, because by the time the readathon started, I was actually already halfway through this book. And I was able to finish this one sometime that evening on the first day, and then I started this one. This one though took me so much time. Like, I'm currently on 64, page 64, but this book took me like the rest of the day or like rest of the time to finish or to read up to. I'm the type of person that usually I can read maybe like 40-50 pages within like half an hour or so. So for me to read like 2 hours on this and only get to like 60 pages is really like, it's really hard to believe, to be honest. So I don't know if it's just like a really slow book, and I'm not really sure yet, but as of right now though, I have mixed feelings in terms of how I feel about this book, but I'm still really early on. I'm only on page 63 or 64, so we shall see. But basically, I only got to these 2 books. I did not even get to touch this book at all, which is quite unfortunate because I was really hoping to finish this weekend. But I mean, it is what it is. For this book though, I also have mixed feelings about it. I liked it in some ways, but I really hated the protagonist. She's more like an antagonist, to be honest. So, or like an anti-hero, I guess is what it's called, because I don't think she was like really a protagonist. But regardless though, I didn't like the main character at all. So because of that, I feel like my feelings for this book is more on the negative side, but there were aspects to it that I did like. But I will do like a more full-length review on my blog, so you guys can check that out. And then in terms of my audiobook, I originally had picked Broken Beautiful Things, but that book was actually really engaging that I finished it the night before the readathon actually started. So I ended up picking the next book on my audiobook, which is The Program by Suzanne Young. I remember when this book first came out, it was really popular, and then I think the last one just finished, was just released this past year, and I feel like this series kind of dwindled down, so I don't really know what to expect, because I originally put the first book on my TBR when it was like super popular, and now I think there's like what, 6 books, I think 5 books probably, I'm not really sure. But regardless though, I feel like the series, like the popularity has significantly gone down, so I'm hoping that I will like the rest of the books and it's not just the first book or 2 that was really popular. But I don't know, I finished the first one the day after the readathon ended, so far I like it, and I'm on the second book already. But I don't know, we shall see. So in terms of the number of books that I finished, I only finished 1 book, which is kind of sad, to be honest, because I don't know, I thought I would finish a lot more. Like, I thought I'd at least finish 2 books, but that was not the case at all. I actually did a lot of errands on Saturday. No, wait, I did a lot of errands on Sunday. And so I actually did most of my reading on Saturday. I think I read about like 5 hours on Saturday and then 3 on Sunday. In total, I read only 8.5 hours, I believe. So I mean, I just went over the limit, which is great. I succeeded in this readathon challenge. I was just hoping to finish at least 2 books, which did not happen. This Spitting Silver book is taking me so long. Like, I don't understand. Anyways, I just feel like I thought it would be like a really quick read, but it's really not at all. It's very immersive, and I feel like it takes a lot of like mentality to read everything. I don't know. As of right now, it's taking me forever to read that book. So because of that, my whole book's kind of stalled, so I couldn't get to the 3rd book at all. But as for my audiobook though, I did a pretty good job. I feel like I finished almost most of the book, like 3/4 of the book, during this readathon challenge, because I was in and out a lot, so I was using like an audiobook. So I feel like the audiobook was great as like a backup, because without the audiobook I would not have read 8.5 hours at all. I think I only sat down and read maybe like 2 possibly 3 hours, and the rest of the time was just in and out, like traveling, commuting to places and doing errands and cooking and whatever. So that's cool. So anyways, I really did like this challenge though. I feel like it did definitely push me to read a little bit more, but it's definitely on the more chill side because 8 hours end of the day for 2 days is really not the worst. It's just because I was really busy. But for like the regular one, the 25 and 5, I think is totally doable, especially since when I commute and stuff, it's already like an hour and a half each day that I can just purely devote myself to reading, and then the rest of the time I can figure it out throughout the day, etc. So it's not terrible, I think. But yeah, so that's basically everything that I did during this readathon and my thoughts about it. Pretty much Instagram was pretty on top of the sharing and all that stuff, so that was pretty cool. And so if you want to kind of know more about, like, you know, as I progress throughout this readathon during this weekend, I actually saved it on my story highlights in my Instagram, so you guys can check it out and see exactly like when I finished it and where I got to, etc. And when did I finally finish, you know, the last part of this 8-hour segment. But yeah, everything is in my Instagram, so you guys can definitely go check it out. But anyways, that's all I have to say for this video. Overall, it was pretty decent. I succeeded, of course, in terms of the reading hours required. In terms of the books though, not so much. But that's okay. But there's so many more readathons that I want to do. Actually, July, there's a lot of readathons. I think there's like 2 that I want to take part of because there's 2 that are really interesting. So I'm really looking forward to that. But anyways, that's all I have to say for this video. If you joined this readathon as well, do let me know in the comments below and let me know if you succeeded or not. And if you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. That's it for today, guys. Thank you. Bye.